చేసినానులే.
Uh, uh, so yesterday we have discussed how to create the payment schedules, right? So today we'll try to apply the payment schedules. So navigation to reach to apply the payment schedule is like, see, first if you want to configure the payment schedules, that is under accounts payable, under payment setup, methods of payment is there, payment days we have scheduled, and payment schedules is there. So if you want to apply any payment schedule, you have to first see. Okay, before applying, let me just create one more fixed amount one, fixed quantity one. Click on new. Okay. Assume that if you want to pay any particular amount, let's say like if you want to pay fixed 3,000 rupees every month. Forget about the invoice amount, actual invoice amount. Assume that you want to pay fixed 3,000 rupees every month. A few vendors. Okay. So, and then under general, this allocation is here, right? You will have to select fixed amount. Since you have already decided to pay every month 3,000 rupees, then you have to select the fixed amount. And what is the frequency that you are planning to do? Monthly ones, right? Then go to months. See, change is nothing but the frequency. How frequency you wanted to pay? That is every month. And this number of payments will be disabled. This option is grayed out, and the reason being, then it doesn't matter because you have already decided that irrespective of the invoice amount, every month you're planning to pay 3,000 rupees, right? And see, amount in transaction currency. What is the amount in transaction currency? The 3,000 rupees that you have already decided. Then enter the same thing. And what is the minimum amount? Minimum amount, let's say, as I mentioned yesterday also, like it is not, we'll be receiving an invoices with like, not round figures, right? Sometimes you're adding the tax or anything. Sometimes it may come to, 3,220 rupees, 3 rupees extra. The price also sometimes it will be added. If you want to round off that, balance amount in the last installment, you have to give it as a minimum amount. Minimum amount, let's say, will give 1 rupee here, so that it will adjust to each and every invoice. Let's say, for example, if the invoice amount is 6,224. So for this particular invoice, if you apply this payment schedule, then it will be divided into two installments. One is for 3,000, and the second one would be 3,224. So it will be easier, right? Instead of dividing entire 6,224 divided by 2, it looks very odd, and it is not. It will impact. I mean, it will confuse for while doing the payment run or anything. So for that reason, if you give this as a minimum amount as one, then the balance amount, whatever it may be, till 3,000, from 3,000 to till 3,000, will it will be added in the last EMI. And here, what is the maximum amount and minimum amount for that particular any invoice? Let's say you want to apply these payment schedules for the invoice amount that is maximum 50,000. And what is the minimum amount applicable for this payment schedule to be applied? That is 3,000, right? If I give less than 3,000, it doesn't make any sense, because EMI, what we have, the amount in transaction currency we have decided is 3,000 rupees. So if you want to apply this payment schedule, definitely the invoice should be above 3,000, and also we have decided it should be below 50,000. Are you getting point? or else I'll make it as a 3000. Yeah. We'll also create one more. So, do you have any doubts here? How to select the why to select a fixed amount, and what is the amount? Why did we give this amount in the transaction currency, and what is the mag? See, these fields are very important. That's the reason you have to understand here. We'll give let's say if you want to give. All right. So let me repeat. Let me go back to the fixed 3000 rupees, and we'll see. One minute. Let me just delete this one. Yeah. So here see here minimum means, okay. Let me give you a normal example. Forget about 6,224. Invoice amount is 6,000 rupees. So assume that you have not given anything here. Anyway, we'll be taking an example as well. Okay. Assume that you haven't given anything here in the minimum, and the invoice amount is 6,000 rupees. So as per this payment schedule, two EMIs will be 3,000, and the second would be second one is 3,000. So are you clear with this at least, Santosh?
It's pretty clear.
Okay. Now, as I mentioned, if invoice amount is more than 6,000, more than 6,000 in the sense, if it comes with any 6,000 odd change like 6,100, let's say, 103 something. Okay. Now, can you tell me, does it looks good if I divide the 6,103 by 2 with the minimum 3,000? See, okay. Can you tell me what will be the 6,103 by divided by 2? That will come to 3,051.5, right? It is 3,051.5. So does this looks good, or 3,103? So which looks good for while doing the payments? Can you tell me, Santosh? Hello?
No, see, how does it matter? Like, why are we stressing this? Like, it can
See,
be any
stressing in the it can be any amount,
at
but
least
to
first one
make
is
it easy,
uniform. The
huh?
first one is at least uniform. It may not be a rounded figure, but first one is at least uniform in all the terms. But second one, it is not
See,
uniform.
this is just an option.
Okay, okay.
It is not mandatory. See, it is not a, mandatory field here. It is just
Okay,
an
okay.
option.
Then fine, then fine.
Huh. See, for
If
that purpose only, I'm telling you, it is not a mandatory option here. In case if you want, for example, your client may ask, right?
okay, if they want to keep the rounding figure in the minimum, they can do it.
Huh.
To keep the monthly installments as a fixed amount.
Okay, I'll also tell you the scenario when you want to use this one. Let's say you are doing foreign currency transactions, okay, and there will
Okay,
be an exchange rate, right? If you give this
okay,
point 0.5, point 0.5, there
okay,
sometimes invoices it will not match, and the journal entry also it will not post. Again, you have to post for that particular round figure, right? So
okay,
for that purpose, it will help you. If you have some 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, and in the last only for this particular invoice, you can put your efforts, right, to search any transaction if there is any mismatch or anything for any reason it may be.
Got it.
because so that's the reason. If you give it as a minimum amount, then especially if you remember, let's say you're doing with USD to INR or USD to GPP or anywhere it may be, then at that time, if the invoice amount is 51.5 or some change like point percentages, it will be very difficult when you pull the report.
Yeah, got it.
That is the main intention of this minimum amount. And this
Okay.
maximum amount, this is about the invoice amount. It is nowhere related to installment amount. It is all about the invoice amount.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you
So
can
again,
go to the next one. This one minimum I had a doubt. No, it's fine.
that is all about to make it easy while doing the foreign currency transactions, especially. Okay. Now let's say you want to go for the 10 EMIs, 10 installments, or then 10 equal installments. Yesterday we have discussed, but let me also discuss once again. See, you have decided that you wanted to pay this particular invoice. Let's say you're receiving an invoice from the invoices, and you want to pay all invoices invoice. Let's say if you want to pay all the invoices related invoices equally over 10 months, irrespective of the date of the invoice. Forget about the dates that I'll show you later. You want to pay it 10 equal installments. Then what is the option we have? Total. It is not total in the sense that is it will take the full amount. Then we have to go with the fixed quantity. And then what is the frequency that you have decided? Every month. Then we'll go for, and the change in the frequency is 1. And the number of payments, you have already decided, right, that you want to go for 10 months. Then you have to give it as a 10 months. And amount in transaction currency, now this is not applicable because you are not going to give it is not based on the minimum amount for this particular schedule, right? And what is the minimum? Yes, same future will give just 1 rupee here. And this maximum amount of the invoice, let's say any invoices with maximum 1 lakh. Minimum, no, we will not give any minimum amount of that particular invoice. Okay. And the sales tax allocation, let's say if you're receiving an invoice adding with the sales tax like 100 or 200, whatever it may be, and if you want that sales tax also to be allotted in every EMI, that is, so it should, if you want to spread it over 10 equal months, then you can give it as a proportionally, and first installment or last installment, if you give these two options, the sales tax, the complete amount will be taken in the first or last installment. And the charge allocation is nothing but, for example, as I mentioned, whenever you're doing any vendor related transactions, you will be having a number of charges, right? Like let's say insurance or freight charges, inward labor charges, or anything it may be. If you the same, like if you want to allot it over 10 months, then proportionally first or last will take as per the invoice amount. So are you clear with this one? If you are clear with these two, then we'll immediately go ahead and start the create an invoice as per this one. For example, we'll go to in accounts payable, and then we'll
So
go to
ఇది
the account.
సేల్స్ ట్యాక్స్ అలొకేషన్ ఒకసారి చెప్పు.
ఇది
సేల్స్ ట్యాక్స్ అలొకేషన్ ఆప్షన్ ఒకసారి అది ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్.
సేల్స్ ట్యాక్స్ అలొకేషన్ అంటే ఏం లేదు. ప్రపోర్షనల్లీ అంటే లెట్స్ సే మన సేల్స్ ఈ ఇన్వాయిస్ అమౌంట్ ఈ 103 ఉంది కదా, ఈ 103 అనేది సేల్స్ ట్యాక్స్ అనుకో, అజ్యూమ్ చేసుకో. ఈ 103 అనేది ఏమవుతుందంటే ప్రపోర్షనల్లీ సెలెక్ట్ చేస్తే అన్ని ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఉంది చెప్తా. ఈ 3000 రూపీస్ అనేది సపరేట్గా వెళ్తుంది. ఏది 3000 రూపీస్ అనేది ఇన్వాయిస్ ప్లస్ 3000 అనేది ఇన్వాయిస్ అమౌంట్ ప్లస్ సేల్స్ ట్యాక్స్ ఉంది కదా. సేల్స్ ట్యాక్స్ నువ్వు ఏం సెలెక్ట్ చేసావు? ప్రపోర్షనల్ అంటే ఏంటిది? మాక్సిమం ఎన్ని ఇన్‌స్టాల్‌మెంట్స్ వస్తాయి? ఒక్క నిమిషం ఇది కూడా తీసేద్దాం. ప్లస్ ఈ 103 డివైడెడ్ బై 2 ఎంత వస్తది? 51.5 కదా! 51.5 ఇది. లేదు నీకు ఇలా వద్దు. ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు పే ద ఎంటైర్ సేల్స్ టాక్స్ ఓన్లీ ఇన్ ఫస్ట్ ఇన్‌స్టాల్‌మెంట్. దెన్ the sales tax amount that is 3,103. So total sales tax amount of 3,103 it will be added in the first invoice. 1 minute. అర్థమైందా సంకర్షణ?
అర్థమైంది. మనకి కావాలంటే ప్రపోర్షనేట్ గానే పెట్టుకోవచ్చు, లేదంటే ఇది ఫస్ట్ ఆర్ లాస్ట్ ఇన్స్టాల్మెంట్ లో సెట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు.
సింపుల్ అంతే.
కానీ అది
అది
ఎంత ప్రపోర్షన్ ఏమి అనేది ఇంకా అది ఈ స్టేజ్ లో
ప్రపోర్షన్ అంటే ఈక్వల్ సింపుల్ అంతే.
ఓకే ఓకే.
మళ్ళీ ప్రపోర్షనల్ సబ్ కేటగిరీ పర్సెంటేజ్‌లు అట్లా ఏమి ఉండదు మళ్ళీ ఇంకంతే. అక్కడున్న ఆప్షన్స్‌లో మనకేంది ఎయిదర్ ఫస్ట్, సెకండ్ ఆర్ ప్రపోర్షనల్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఈక్వల్ అంతే.
ఓకే.
ఎనీవే అదంతా మనం సేల్స్ టాక్స్ మాడ్యూల్ కాన్ఫిగర్ చేసి దాని తర్వాత మళ్ళీ ఇన్వాయిసెస్ పోస్ట్ చేస్తే అప్పుడు చూస్తే అర్థమవుతది. జస్ట్ ఈ ఆప్షన్స్ ఉన్నాయని తెలుసుకోవాలి. తర్వాత సంగతి మళ్ళీ మనం ప్రాక్టికల్‌గా వేరే ఉంటది. అందుకే ఫస్ట్ విల్ క్రియేట్ ఎన్ ఇన్వాయిస్ హియర్. సో టు క్రియేట్ ఎన్ ఇన్వాయిస్, what is navigation? We'll have to go for the invoices and then click on the invoice journal. See what is that amount that we are looking for. What EP invoices here? We'll have what are the payment schedules that we have created. The first one will go for the pay in 10 equal installments here. So we'll just create a new vendor here immediately for Infosys. Group I will give it as a domestic vendor, and the rest of the options it is not necessary. Address also not required. Contact information not required. And what are the any other mandatory fields, miscellaneous details, credit rating, all these things it is not required, will not give anything. Vendor profile now. Purchase and demos. Okay, this is important. See, we are dealing with USD currency rate, so we'll give it as a year. Or if you want to give any GBP or anything, such foreign currency transactions we'll discuss in a separate module, because foreign currency revaluation is required. Penny round of all those things we'll have to discuss. And especially if you want to give separate number sequence for this particular invoice, we can give it here, or else it is not necessary. purchase order defaults.
అంటే ఇప్పుడు
We
ఎట్లా ఇప్పుడు ఇన్ఫోసిస్ ది నేను INFY V-1 అనే సీక్వెన్స్ పెట్టుకోవాలంటే పెట్టుకోవచ్చా?
పెట్టుకోవచ్చు. అది ఒక్క నిమిషం. అది ఇక్కడ గ్రూప్ ఉంది. చూపిస్తా చూడు. ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నువ్వు అలా చేసుకోవాలి అనుకుంటే దిస్ వన్ మోర్ ఆప్షన్. ఎగ్జాంపుల్ గో టు అకౌంట్స్ పేబుల్ పారామీటర్స్. అట్లా ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ ఇన్వాయిస్కి నువ్వు కస్టమైజ్ చేసుకోవాలి అనుకుంటే మనము అకౌంట్స్ పేబుల్ పారామీటర్స్లోకి వెళ్ళాలి. నంబర్ సీక్వెన్సెస్ యాక్చువల్గా నువ్వు జాయిన్ అవ్వకముందు క్లాస్ చెప్పాను అది. సో చూపిస్తుంది. సో మనకి ఎక్కడ ఉంటుంది అంటే అకౌంట్స్ పేబుల్ పారామీటర్స్. Here we see in every module we'll be having the parameters. I believe you remember, right? So this is where the controls will be given. The most important controls will be given in the accounts payable parameters. Under this, go to number sequences. See, these are auto generated. I'll explain you later, or else you can refer to the how to generate the number sequences. So here it is already created. So as you mentioned, you want to make it customized for every vendor to identify. Then you just give an hyperlink on, click on this one. So here you will be selecting, we'll create a new number sequence. That's not a problem. So you wanted to make it a
Do it for Infosys only, no?
Infosys ke chestuna. Only separately you cannot create a number sequence for Infosys. But if you give it as a manual, then wait, let me refresh here. We have just updated as a manual over there, right? Now click on new. Okay, still it is taking as a continuous. I don't know why. Here we have to select it. Let me do one thing. This is for the timing. If you want to create only for vendors, right? In scope, we'll have to select the company name. What is the company name? Let's say we haven't created any company. We have not created it. For the timing, you can give it as a USMF here. And let me okay. Let's say you want to give the format as a for any vendor, and then we'll come back to Infosys. Vend hyphen let's say 00401. So this is a format you're looking. So you wanted to give for each and every vendor, followed by series. Like there will be continuation from 1 to till. Let's say you want to give it for till 6 digits. Then if you see here, what is the constant here? It will be when hyphen will be the constant characters, right? And rest of them it will keep changing as per the number of vendors that you're going to create. So here, if you click on the alphanumeric, this is a drop down here. Alphanumeric, it is nothing but if you want to give any, let's say this, if you have any specific alphanumeric characters that to be given, then you can give it here. For the timing, I'll show you. For let's say you want to give constant. What is the constant value here? When hyphen, right? I'll give this as a when hyphen, and after this, you have to give 6 digits, right? Uh, for every vendor, there should be 6 digits, and it should start from the one. So for that, what is the next field that we are supposed to add is alphanumeric, or you can, if there is a specific company name, if you want to give, you can give it over there, or else alphanumeric you can select. See, in Dynamics, hash indicates numbers. So what is the number of digits that we have given? 5. Then we'll give 5. You see here, this is a format it is shown here. If you create any new vendor invoice, it will come in the 5 hashes, and then when followed by when hyphen. But that is not the correct format, right? You wanted to make this. You want to make this below. And then if you want to make this down, just click on down. Yeah. Now, as per our required format, that is when hyphen 501. You forget about this 01. I'll that we'll discuss in the first. Assume that you wanted to start with the when hyphen 5 digits, right? So these are 5 digits. When hyphen 5 digits, and then you want to make it a. You want to start it from one to, let's say you want to give it for 100 or any till 5 digits maximum. So here there is under setup, we have two options. One is manual and one is continuous. If you give it manual, so whatever the numbers, whatever the invoice you are going to create, right? Here you can, it will not pick on by its own. Like whenever you create a new vendor, this vendor account will be empty, and then you can create whatever you want, like for Infosys, Reliance, or anything it may be. Instead of this manual, if you give it as a continuous, and what is the last number that you are supposed to give? 5 nines, and it should start from the one. This is the invoice we have decided, right? 5 digits of the invoice number, and it will start from the one. And it's automatic cleanup. Let's say you have any system issues and you are unable to complete the vendor transaction or vendor creation, and the invoice number will get stuck, right? And after some time, let's say you are trying to enter the Infosys details, and your system got stuck, but any of your colleague system might be continuously working, even they are also creating the vendors. And after some time, you come back, and if you see, if you are trying to create a new Infosys vendor, uh, earlier, let's say it was taking as a one as an invoice vendor invoice number. Now instead of one, it will take some 5 or 6, but that one number is there, right? That will restore. That means it will be restored in the system after 24 hours, because that got stuck. That invoice number will not be wasted. If you want to ensure that no invoice number is being wasted, irrespective of the situation, like for any reason shutdown or system down or any reason it may be, we want to enable this as a cleanup. And the performance is nothing but if you want to allocate, like pre-allocation, if you want to give, let's say you want to give number sequences, let's say you want to give only 100 or 2000 or anywhere it may be, then you can activate this pre-allocation. Okay, so if you want to allocate the pre-allocation, then you have to remove this continuous and make it enable as a yes. No, not this one.
శ్రీనివాస్, ఇప్పుడు మనము వెండర్ క్రియేషన్ చేసినప్పుడు ఆటోమేటిక్ వెండర్ నెంబర్స్ పిక్ అవుతాయి కదా. సో
అదే ఆటోమేటిక్గా పిక్ అవ్వాలి అంటే కంటిన్యూస్, మాన్యువల్గా ఇవ్వాలంటే మాన్యువల్.
అందులో సపోజ్ ఇప్పుడు మనము ఏదైనా స్టక్ అయ్యాము 24 hours రీస్టోర్ అవుతుంది అంటున్నాం.
అవును.
కానీ మనకు సపోజ్ వెండర్ నెంబర్ 1 మనం ఏం డేటా పెట్టామో అది మనకు రిట్రీవ్ చేసుకోవడానికి ఉండదా?
రిట్రీవ్ ఉండదు, సిస్టమే ఆటోమేటిక్గా రీస్టోర్ చేయాలి.
ఓకే. సో మనం చూసుకోవడానికి కూడా లేవు ఏ నెంబర్ స్టక్ అయ్యాయి ఈరోజు అని చెప్పి చూసుకోవడానికి కూడా ఏం లేవు.
అది ఇక్కడ ఉంటుంది, హిస్టరీ, క్లీనప్ ఇవన్నీ ఉన్నాయి కదా. సో ఆప్షన్స్ అన్నీ ఉన్నాయి, అవన్నీ చెక్ చేయాలి అసలు. ఇక్కడ యాక్చువల్గా ఇది ప్రీ అలొకేషన్, అది ఎస్ చేయాలి, బట్ ఇక్కడ ఎందుకో గ్రేడ్ అవుట్ అయిపోయింది, రావట్లేదు. చూడు ఇక్కడ ఇక్కడ మినిమం వీ కెన్ గివ్ ఏ మినిమం క్వాంటిటీ ఇయర్ లైక్ 500 or and the next one is 1 and the largest number also we can give it here. Not sure why it is not working here. I'm trying all the options here. Yes, you have to disable this continuous. I tried earlier but it was not working. Okay, again now it is gone. Okay, see the quantity of numbers is nothing but, as I mentioned, if you want to give only 5 vendors, or if you want any of your account vendor master team to create only 5 vendors for that particular day, you can give the quantity of numbers as a 5, and after creating 5 vendors it will throw an error stating that you have given pre-allocation that is only for 5. So that's the reason most of them will that times will disable this option. We'll give it as
అది మాన్యువల్ గా పెట్టుకుంటేనే కదా. ఇఫ్ యూ సెలెక్ట్ మాన్యువల్ ఆప్షన్ ఓన్లీ యూ హ్యావ్ దిస్
కాదు అసలు కాదు, మాన్యువల్ కి సంబంధం లేదు. సి
ఇప్పుడు కంటిన్యూస్ నువ్వు నో చేసింటేనే కదా ఇది వచ్చింది.
లేదు, అది సిస్టమ్ అందుకే స్లో ఉంది. సిస్టమ్ కంటిన్యూ సెలెక్ట్ చేయకపోయినా వచ్చేస్తుంది, ఇది దానికి సంబంధం లేదు. అదే నేను ఇందాక చూస్తాను.
అంటే ఇది సిస్టమ్ కంటిన్యూస్ అయినా మాన్యువల్ అయినా ఇది మనం ఇది ఏబుల్ చేసి పెట్టుకుంటే రిస్ట్రిక్షన్ ఉంటుంది కదా.
అంతే. సో హియర్ కంటిన్యూస్ ఇచ్చి సేవ్ చేసేద్దాం. Okay, now we'll go back to here in number sequences we have decided to create we have created separate number sequence, right, for vendors related. Yeah, vendor payment, sorry, not vendor payment, only vendor PNT. Yes, now click on save, again come back to vendors. Now can you see here what is the account number? Vend-501. But earlier it was showing only 50123, right? But as per our customization, now it came to default Vend-0001. But as you mentioned, this is not the one you are looking. You want to make it still customized. That is, you wanted to make it like as per the invoice vendor name, right? Then you will just go back to the same number sequence. Instead of continuous, you disable this option and enable it as enable manual as a yes. Now click on save, then click on yes. See, these number sequences you have to create at least 5-10 number sequences. If you create, it will be easy for you. Again, now we'll go back this one. I think we have clicked on the save, right? Yes, we clicked on save. Let me just refresh this one. Again, we'll go back to the accounts vendors here. Now click on new. Can you see here? Now it is not showing anything. Now, as per your requirement, you can give Infosys. And next time, if you create any new vendor, let's say, for example, we'll Infosys. What is the search name here? That is Infi. I think it is already there because last time we tried to create it. We'll show that. We'll give it as a. Let's see any other company. And this is here. Tata will give. The search name also will give it as a Tata only. Yeah. The group. Domestic will give. That's all. So apart from that, there are no much mandatory fields. All these are customized unless it is unless you need all these details, you can give the payment, terms of payment, all these things. It is not mandatory. See, if you give the terms of payment here itself, then by default it will pick whenever you post any transactions. So I'm not giving any of this method of payment, payment type, discount schedules, even schedules also we have created, right? So by default, whenever you post any invoices, it will pick the same payment schedule. Later you can edit. That's not a problem. So this retail financial dimensions, anyways, I'm not going to any all this. If you have any requirement, then you can give. Now let me just quickly save here. We'll also create a new vendor immediately. So this time we'll go for the let's say Whirlpool. Then the group will give it as any let's say service vendors or anything. That's all. Okay. So now we'll quickly go back to the, if you want to apply any of these payment schedules, right? First we'll have to create an invoice. If you want to create an invoice, just click on new and then select AP invoice, click on lines. All right. So here vendor will select it as a, why is it not showing here all the vendors we have created, right? Okay. We'll search it manually. Why is it not showing? Yes. Let's say we'll go with the Whirlpool one. Invoice date. We'll give it as a today's date. Now, you have to create an invoice right here. So for that purpose, see, if you click on the settle transactions, you'll not be able to see any invoices because you have not created anything. So now click on OK. As per our payment schedule, we are decided we want this invoice to be pay equally or 10 equal installments. Then we'll give it as a simple 10,000. Okay.
ఇక్కడ ఇన్వాయిస్ కాబట్టి మొత్తం అమౌంట్ రాస్తాం కదా.
ఇది ఇన్వాయిస్ యూ హ్యావ్ మనం ఇన్వాయిస్ వచ్చింది షాప్లోకి వెళ్ళి నువ్వు మెషిన్ తీసుకొచ్చా ఇన్వాయిస్ వచ్చింది జస్ట్ ఎంటరింగ్ ద ఇన్వాయిస్ అంతే. అండ్ దెన్ హియర్ instead of ledger, I'll give it as a bank account directly to make it easy because you are already sure that you have purchased a washing machine. So if you want to be separate, if you want to show this amount particularly for washing machine, then you will have to create a main account, ledger account for washing machine. So let us not do that. So assume that you have purchased. Anyway, summary account will still remain same as a Whirlpool itself. I mean the accounts payable, and then we are giving it as a bank account here. Now click on validate.
డెబిట్ కదా అది వర్ల్పూల్ అమౌంట్.
ఇక్కడ మనము అవును మనం ఈ డైరెక్ట్ తీసుకుంటున్నాం కదా, అకౌంట్స్ పేబుల్కి ఏం పంపించట్లేదు, డైరెక్ట్ పే చేస్తున్నాం బ్యాంక్ అకౌంట్కి. క్లిక్ ఆన్ వ్యాలిడేట్. అది వ్యాలిడేట్ అయిపో. క్లిక్ ఆన్ పోస్ట్. Now click on voucher. Yes. యాజ్ పర్ ద ఎంట్రీ సి మనం అకౌంట్స్ పేబుల్ అంటే ఒక సమ్మరీ అకౌంట్కి పంపించట్లేదు, డైరెక్ట్ అకౌంట్స్ పేబుల్ అకౌంట్ డేటా టు బ్యాంక్ అకౌంట్కి పంపించేసినాం. ఆర్ఎల్స్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు క్రియేట్ ఎ సపరేట్ మెయిన్ అకౌంట్ ఫర్ వాషింగ్ మిషన్, అండ్ దెన్ ఫ్రమ్ వాషింగ్ మిషన్ అకౌంట్ డేటా ఎక్స్పెన్స్ అకౌంట్ డేటా టు accounts payable, again from accounts payable to bank account. So we have skipped that step and directly we are giving it as an accounts payable to bank account. So this transaction you are clear, right? This is we have just entered an invoice, but what about the payment? If you want to enter the payment, then quickly go back to accounts payable and then go to payments.
ఇప్పుడు సీక్వెన్సింగ్ ఉంది కదా, అది మనం ఐఎన్వి అని చూసాం కదా, అది ఇన్వాయిస్ సీక్వెన్సింగ్ ఉంది కదా. హలో,
ఇన్వాయిస్ సీక్వెన్స్ ఇదా?
ఇది ఇప్పుడు ఇది కాదు ఇన్వాయిస్ ఇంతకుముందు మాన్యువల్ అవి
అది నంబర్ సీక్వెన్స్
you have shown now. See, if we select manual there, does it apply to all the vendors?
Yes, by default. That's the reason. For example, if I click on new, see, vendor account is empty here field. You can give whatever you want. Let's
that means if I select manual, it will be manual for everything. If I select continuous, it will be continuous for everything.
Continuous for everything.
Oh.
Yeah. So most of them they'll prefer go with the continuous, because manual if you give, sometimes your end user might enter the wrong, or there might be spelling mistakes or any reason it may be. That's the reason they'll give it as a continuous.
Categories for that. See, maybe this is fine. Like
that's the reason we have number sequence group category, right? Here you have.
Okay.
Same steps you have to follow, but if you create a separate sequence group, then it will be applicable for that particular group only.
Okay.
Yeah, that option is there. If you want, you can create. Okay. Anyways, we have almost created as a Mindtree. Okay, so we have created one invoice. We'll also create one more invoice, that is for what is the next payment schedule we want to apply. Fixed 3,000, right? So to make it easy, let me also give the vendor description here, that is fixed 3,000. Payment schedule. So it will help you to find out this particular invoice whenever you see the report. It will be easy. And then we'll go to here. We'll select now it as a still that is not showing. It may take time to refresh. Okay, Mindtree it is there somewhere. Now we'll go with the Tata then. Description will give it something as an IT services. A bit. Let's say what is the payment schedule we are planning to apply? 3, right? 3,000. So if you want to, let's say the invoice amount is 30,000. And then directly you are giving this a bank account. Click on operating account. Yes. Validate. No. First we have to create an invoice here. We directly came to vendor payment journal. We'll select the vendor. Data. Invoice date. Invoice. This is the invoice number we have received. It takes some time. It is not loading here. And then what is the debit amount? Let's say you want to give some 18,000.
శ్రీనివాస్ ఇక్కడ ఇది ఇన్వాయిస్ ఎంట్రీ లెవెల్లోనే డెబిట్ క్రెడిట్ డిసైడ్ అయిపోతుంది కదా.
అంతే కదా. ఎందుకంటే ఆఫ్సెట్ అకౌంట్ నువ్వు ఆఫ్సెట్ అకౌంట్ ఇక్కడ చేంజెస్ చేసుకునే ఆప్షన్ ఉంది కదా మనకు. అంటే లెడ్జర్ ఇవ్వచ్చు, లేదంటే డైరెక్ట్ బ్యాంక్ పే చేస్తున్నావు అంటే బ్యాంక్ అకౌంట్ కూడా చేయొచ్చు కదా నువ్వు. సో అందుకు ఇక్కడే నీకు ఆప్షన్ ఉంది డెబిట్ క్రెడిట్ చేసుకోవాలి.
అది కాదు, నార్మల్గా ఇప్పుడు అది ఏపీలో ఉన్నారంటే ఎవరైనా ఫస్ట్ ఇన్వాయిస్ రికార్డ్ చేసుకుంటారు కదా. ఈ ఇన్వాయిస్ రికార్డ్
ఇదే ఇన్వాయిస్ రికార్డ్ చేసేది.
అదే ఇన్వాయిస్ ఇదే కదా. ఇన్వాయిస్ రికార్డ్
ఇదే ఇన్వాయిస్ రికార్డ్ చేసి
వాళ్ళే ఇది
ఏమంటారు డెబిట్
డిసైడ్ చేస్తారు అంటున్నా.
డిసైడ్ చేయొచ్చు. సో బేస్డ్ ఆన్ ద పేమెంట్ టర్మ్స్, ఇఫ్ దే డైరెక్ట్లీ పేయింగ్ దెన్ అంటే డైరెక్ట్ పే చేస్తున్నారు అనుకో, అప్పుడు ఇంక మళ్ళీ దీన్ని క్రెడిట్ చేసి దాన్ని అకౌంట్స్ పేబుల్ టు మళ్ళీ బ్యాంక్ అకౌంట్ అవసరం లేదు కదా.
అకౌంట్స్ పేబుల్ అయినా ఇది డైరెక్ట్ పేమెంట్ అన్నా రెండు ఒకటే, ఏమంటే ఆఫ్సెట్ అకౌంట్ మారిపోతుంది అంతే కదా.
ఆఫ్సెట్ అకౌంట్ లో బ్యాంక్ బదులు ఐటీ సర్వీసెస్ ఉందనుకో, ఎక్స్పెన్సెస్ దానికి బుక్ చేయాలనుకో, ఎక్స్పెన్సెస్ అంతే అక్కడికి వెళ్తుంది. సో ఇది అకౌంట్ నేమ్ ఎందుకు రిఫ్రెష్ లోడ్ అవ్వట్లేదు? స్టార్ట్ yes. Now click on validate. Again it click on validate. So you have to be careful here, because even if you select, we have selected twice, but it didn't took. Yes, now it took. Validate. So we have created two invoices. So let it loads, then quickly we'll go back to the payment journal and we'll keep it open. Yes, it is posted, and if you see the journal entry, accounts payable account data to bank account. So let's say, like, the end user has received an invoice, and in the invoice they have mentioned payment is already done through this particular bank account. If there is a disclaimer or anything, then by looking at the payment status, he will update this watch this invoice as in this directly to the accounts payable and then to the bank account. So now we'll quickly go back to the payment journal. we have created two invoices. One is for Whirlpool and then one is for Tata. We have to apply that payment schedule, right? That is a purpose. We'll click on vendor payment, again click on lines. We'll select the vendor, Tata. Yes, now again click on the settle transactions. Yeah, so this is the invoice amount we have created, right? So now you just put your cursor on mark. See, not ensure that you're not selecting, you're not checking this box as a fully settled. Only click on mark and ensure this checkbox is being selected. Once you do this one, this apply payment schedule will be enabled. If you do not this one, if you just click on here, it will be grayed out still. So ensure these two boxes are being selected.
If
Then
you click on fully settle also, it will disable, right?
yes, it will disable. So there is no point, right? If you
Yeah.
fully setable.
Got it.
So yeah,
Click on
then
fully settle. Let us see.
wait. For example, it will throw an error. See, full settlement is not possible when the related payment is 0.
Why?
చూద్దాం అదే రిలేటెడ్ పేమెంట్ యాక్చువల్గా మనము వేరే సెట్టింగ్ చూడాలి, చెప్తా తర్వాత. సో ఫస్ట్ విల్ గో ఫర్ ద అప్లై పేమెంట్ షెడ్యూల్, అజ్యూమింగ్ దట్ యూ వాంటెడ్ టు పే దిస్ ఇన్వాయిస్ ఇన్ ద installments. So if you want to do that one, click on apply payment schedules. See, immediately you will get in two options here. One is percentage and one is amount, but already you have decided as per the amount, right? So go for the amount and then click on the payment schedule. So if you click on the payment schedule, what is it we have decided? Go for the fixed 3000 per month. And here there is a starting point. When is it you wanted to start it off? Let's say you want to start it from the August 1st. Irrespective of the invoice date, you can pick this one, because this you have agreed with a vendor, right? Let's say you have agreed with the vendor that you will be paying the first installment from August 1st. Then you click on OK. See, by default, as per the invoice amount, that is 18,000, right? Here we haven't given anything here. Let's say this one. See, we had just given it as a 3,000 rupees. So that's the reason the invoice amount got divided into 6 installments. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can you see it? This is the last date. Also here still you have an option to make it changes. Let's say you want to initially on the first month, if you want to make 5,000, and the next month you want to make only 1,000, or let it be 3,000. The last installment you want to make it as 1,000. Still it is showing as 2,000 shortfall, or we'll make it as you can delete this one. Still it is showing as 1,000 shortfall. Five, 8.
సిక్స్టీనే అవుతుంది
What?
కదా, ఇంకా 2000 యాడ్ చేయాలి. ఫస్ట్ దే కరెక్ట్.
నేను అంటుంది ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు కస్టమైజ్ అంటున్నా.
అది అర్థమైంది. ఇప్పుడు టోటల్ 18,000 కదా, 3 3 9, 9 + 9 18. ఇప్పుడు కరెక్ట్ ఉంది.
కరెక్ట్ ఉంది, బట్ ఇక్కడ బ్యాలెన్స్ ఇంకా చూపిస్తుంది, అందుకే చూస్తున్నా.
రిఫ్రెష్ చేయడా?
రిఫ్రెష్ రావట్లేదు. జనరల్గా అయితే వచ్చేస్తుంది ఇమీడియట్గానే. వెళ్ళిపోయింది. ఇప్పుడు చూడు బ్యాలెన్స్ చూపిస్తుంది. రిమైండర్ ఈజ్ నథింగ్ హియర్. Okay. So there is an option. See this payment schedule, although you have selected, but still it is customizable. Now click on OK. See it is throwing a disclaimer. Yeah. So now your invoice has been divided into as per the invoice schedules that you have selected. That is 5,000, 3,000, 3,000, 4,000. And let's say you want to settle only this invoice for now. Now click on mark. Click on OK. Yes. Can you see here? By default now it is a credit here. Actually, it should not take credit here. Let me see what is the result that we'll be getting here. సో మనం ఇక్కడ ఈ ఎర్రర్ ఎందుకు వచ్చింది చెప్పు. మనం ఇన్వాయిస్ క్రియేట్ చేసేటప్పుడు అక్కడ ముందుగానే బ్యాంక్ అకౌంట్ డైరెక్ట్ ఇచ్చేసాం. అక్కడ మనము అది ఇవ్వకుండా అకౌంట్స్ పేయబుల్‌కి ఇవ్వాలి. ఎందుకంటే పేమెంట్ చేస్తుంది ఇక్కడ కదా! ఇన్వాయిస్ జర్నల్ ఉందా?
మనం ఆ ఇన్వాయిస్ కి మరి పేమెంట్ అట్లా చూపిలేము.
అలా ఎలా చూపిస్తావు? నువ్వు అక్కడ ఆల్రెడీ పేమెంట్ చేసేసినట్టు నువ్వు చూపిస్తే?
పేమెంట్ చేసినట్టు కాదు. అక్కడ
ఇన్వాయిస్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మనం ఎప్పుడైనా ఇన్వాయిస్ క్రియేట్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఆహ్, జనరల్ ఎంట్రీ ఏమొస్తది?
ఇన్వాయిస్ క్రియేట్ చేసినట్టా?
హ్మ్.
ఎక్స్‌పెన్స్ టు
యూ స్టిల్
పేయబుల్.
డూ ద పేమెంట్.
ఇఫ్ ఐఎమ్ డూయింగ్ పేమెంట్ ఎక్స్‌పెన్స్ టు పేమెంట్ ఓన్లీ.
మరి మనం ఇక్కడ అదే ఇవ్వాలి కదా! మనం ఇందాక నువ్వు అన్నట్టుగా ఏమిచ్చాను? ఆహ్, డైరెక్ట్ ఇక్కడ బ్యాంక్ అకౌంట్ ఇచ్చేసాం. లెట్స్ సే యూ ఆర్ గివింగ్ ఇట్ యాస్ 3,000. సో మనం ఇక్కడ ఆఫ్‌సెట్ అకౌంట్ క్రియేట్ చేయాలి. సో విల్ క్విక్లీ క్రియేట్ అన్ ఆఫ్‌సెట్ అకౌంట్. Let's say you're purchasing any IT services from మెయిన్ అకౌంట్ వచ్చేసి మెయిన్ అకౌంట్ అంటే ఇక్కడ సీరియల్ యూనిక్ నంబర్ ఇవ్వాలి. సో యూనిక్ నంబర్ సిరీస్‌లో ఉంది ఇక్కడ మెయిన్ అకౌంట్ ఎక్స్‌పెన్సెస్‌ది. సో ఈ మెయిన్ అకౌంట్ మనం మళ్ళీ క్రియేట్ చేసాము మీకు చెప్తా. ఓకే. అది మెయిన్ అకౌంట్‌తో ఆల్రెడీ ఉందనుకుంటా. సరే ఇది మెయిన్ అకౌంట్ చూద్దాం ఫస్ట్. అసలు మనం ఏదో ఒక ర్యాండమ్ ఇన్వాయిసెస్ క్రియేట్ చేద్దాం. అక్కడ ఏం చేసామంటే let's go with the data same. Why is it not selecting? It's for the timing, we'll give it as a rent expense. And we
స్క్రీన్
transfer.
షేరింగ్ ఇది స్టాప్ అయిపోయినట్టుంది.
అవునా? లెట్ మీ జస్ట్ స్టాప్ చేస్తున్నాను. ఇప్పుడు కనబడుతుందా స్క్రీన్?
Yes.
So we are creating a normal rent expense for this particular data, and credit we have given. What is the offset account we are supposed to select? Rent expense. Now click on validate. Click on post. Now click on watch here. Yeah. So rent expense account data to accounts payable. This is very clear, right? So we are booking an invoice. Now the main purpose is to create an apply this payment schedule, right? So quickly we'll apply the payment schedule for only for this invoice. Just go back to accounts payable, go to vendor payment journal, click on new, vendor payment, again click on lines. Vendor account will select the data. Where is data? Yes, click on data. So now you should be able to see the list of these transactions. As we decided, we'll go with the rent one, right? This one. Now we have to click on mark. Now click on apply schedule. We'll go with the fixed amount. That is, if you click on the payment schedule, we have multiple options here. We have created multiple, right? We'll go with the fixed 3,000 rupees. And the starting point, I want it to start from the August 1st. Click on OK. Yeah. So ఇక్కడ చూడు 10 by default the invoice amount got divided into 10 equal installments. So let me not do any changes. Now click on OK. So it is throwing a disclaimer. Let's say on invoice, if the due date is let's say only 1 month, but since we are giving it for 10 installments, so obviously the due date of the invoice will change, right? So it is just throwing a disclaimer. Yes, we'll have to continue that. Okay. And now invoice got divided into 10 equal installments, right? I want to settle only this one. So I want to pay this first installment today itself, even though my due date is on 1st August. I want to pay in today. Now click on OK. Yes, now it is showing as a debit here, and I wanted to pay it from my bank account, that is operating bank account. I'll select this one. Now click on validate. Hopefully it should not throw any error because we haven't done any mistake and all fields got selected here. Yes, the validation is done. We are posting it here. Yes, this is also done. Can you see it? Our first installment got cleared now. That is accounts payable account data to bank account. And if you want to see the transaction origin, click on this one. It will give you more details, clear details. See, we have booked the Tata invoice, that is first invoice of 3000. This is a vendor and this is a bank account we have selected, and this is a journal entry, that is accounts payable account data to bank account. Now, very important is just if you want to check how many invoices are left for this particular Tata, now definitely it will show you only the 9 installments over there because we have already cleared one installment, right? Now click on lines, go to account, Tata, click on settle transactions. Yeah, if you see here, there are only 9 installments are available here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So are you clear with this one? How to apply payment schedule? Hello?